Welcome back to the channel. Crypto Trend Trader here. Taking a quick look at Bitcoin. I just want to do like a really short update. I was actually looking at the chart here a minute ago as we got our close at 7, and now here it's about 7:40. And I was kind of looking at this, and I try not to look for like the same patterns over and over again. But obviously we had got like that inverted head and shoulders and got like the push up, and I'm kind of seeing like a strange development, coming back out in here. And now granted, we just got that head and shoulders, so I don't want to like look too deep into it, but we kind of have like a shoulder, a head, a shoulder, which is a little bit lower but not uncommon in this case, because basically we're in a bearish trend, so it's more likely that this pattern would end up sloped to the downside. And then I was thinking we could actually pop up, like you could call this the shoulder, but I had basically drawn in this parallel line with that red old school trend line that we had been interacting with. But I was thinking we could actually pop up when we came down to the 618, okay, the first time, and got the pop up to the 382. So we come back down here below the 618. So I was thinking if we don't make it up to the 382 again, we basically sell back off, and then that's going to be our neckline, is basically like that red line right there. And then here we end up with like, it's sort of a janky looking head and shoulders, but it is what it is. These patterns aren't always perfect, you know what I mean? And you basically, end up with something, I don't know, it's a little scraggly, but again, it just kind of occurred to me, and then I saw this thing start popping up here now, and I thought, man, it sure does look like that's about to play out now too. And then you'll see now we got the jewel thief curling up, the knife's curling up. We had the accumulation zone. Basically what would happen here is we would move up, get a powerful move up, and then just sell back off and dump back down into the accumulation zone again. And we would essentially be getting rejected on the histogram, coming back up, curling up here, trying to get back above this positive blue slope line before we lose that. And what happens a lot of time is you'll come up, hit it, and then get rejected again and sell off. And how that would look in the chart is it would look like a powerful move up here to like 75 or so, 100, maybe even more, who knows, and then sell back off essentially, and then take out that low. And then when we break this neckline, however you want to do it, that was the old trend line, so I didn't really draw it in. But if you want to say the neckline basically comes down like this a little bit more, so if it was that yellow one, let me just clone this really quick, and then I'm going to move this one right over here. So basically the way it looks right here, if you draw that in off the neckline and then clone it in, we basically look like we just about have topped out this head and shoulders right now. So we'll see where this goes to, and again, I try not to get caught up with these patterns, and this is like super janky looking, but at the same time, like, is it really that janky looking? It is definitely, but you can't expect these things to play out like absolutely perfectly. And then depending on what like time frame you look at and everything, it definitely changes a lot. But I don't know, we'll see. You got the shoulder, the neck, head, shoulder, or neck, and then shoulder. I don't know. It looks more janky on the longer time frames, but I just was picturing like, man, that's like a little Bart head and shoulders pattern right there forming. So we'll see what happens. I'm still not expecting much of a move to the upside though, but we could possibly still play out this wave 5. One of the patrons did comment about basically the wave structure being invalidated because the 4 wave had come down into the 1 wave, and technically we did close outside of the bodies, but typically you would want to see the body of this candle close above the wick of the 1, because you want to the 4 can't retrace into the 1 by more than a wick on a longer time frame, and a highly leveraged market is sort of like the general rule for that. But again, I'm not really that much value wave trader, although I do like to recognize basically like commonly used methods and understand them, so that when the time does arrive, I have that like essentially like tool in my belt. So but I did just want to do a quick update. We are getting that move back up here, and we'll see where that plays out. Again, I think we could come as high as 74, 73 here, no problem. But where we go from there is we're going to really get an idea where this situation is headed, because one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to get a powerful move up here and take out this high like no problem, or even if we come back up and retest this diagonal trend line, we're far enough away from it now. It's going to be a nice move back up to like 8,000 range. But if we sell off here and this plays out as well, realistically, what's our our just general basic old measured move, you do it from the neckline of the downward slope, and that's going to put us right down here at a at a lower low back down in the $6,400 range. So but who knows? We'll see how it all plays out. It's just something that kind of jumped out at me. I don't necessarily always trade like every pattern I see, or go 100% with every little bit of news I hear or anything like that. But I do like to keep them in mind. And then when these things like play out in the market and you see it, it's not like surprising, because you're basically already like played out these potential scenarios, and then you over time like see these same scenarios play out, and then you're able to basically like use this scenario in an advantageous manner. And so